Lotus, now's your time. There you go. You're a 3D artist, still a student who wants to find a path, especially today because I'm about to finish college. I can tell that I love characters, but I feel I'm not ready for the moment, but I love doing texturing and rendering. I hope you can give me feedback and some advice about post-college. At the end of the day, I'll fight for what I want. No hay peor lucha que la que no se hace. That's correct, man. Let's take a look. Ah, you're from Mexico as well. Awesome. Okay. Straight out of the gate. Take this one out, man. Yeah. Like this thing, we can do this thing in 30 minutes maybe. So no need to have that. No need to have this one either. It's I understand what you were going for. This looks very cool for like graphic design. Like if you're going to be working, especially here in Mexico, there's a lot of work in terms of like advertisement, right? For Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, stuff like that. So this kind of stuff you might be doing in some of those advertisements if they're going for this low poly vibe. There was I did one. Do I have it here? Let me check real quick if I have it. Because I did a project, the thing is I don't remember how many years ago. So this was a project that I did in 2022 for a local studio here in Mexico. And they were doing some like I'm not sure if it was a game that they were doing, like a mini game or something. But this was the level of modeling that they were hoping to get. Let me show you the substance file instead. It was very low poly. It was good pay though, very very good pay. So that's what I'm telling you guys. I always mention this is like, hey, you might find every now and then some projects that are very easy to do and they pay like really well. So this is what I was doing. It was like a what's the word? It was like a, I don't know, like some sort of like commercial or something, and they were gonna have this 3D little islands that represented different parts of the business. This was called the Entertainment Islands, and they wanted this sort of like grungy, painterly effect to the whole thing, and they wanted everything to be procedural because they wanted to repeat it on a bunch of different scenes. So this is it. It's so simple, right? Like I know some of you are like, really? This is why this kind of stuff is not on my portfolio, because I can do it. And if a client comes to me and is like, oh, we're doing this, I will show some of this renders. Like, oh yeah, I did this commercial a couple of years ago. This is the style that we're going for. But it's not going to be in my portfolio because it's so simple that that I don't feel, or I don't want it to have to be along with everything else. But yeah, so that's why I was saying, Diego, keep renders of this, but don't have it here on your art station because people are going to see it and they're not going to say good things about it because of how simple it is, right? Same for this Princess Mononoke. So you can have these elements on your sort of like private portfolio, and if you ever encounter a client or a project that has similar things, you show them, it's like, yeah, I've done something like that before. It's not in my portfolio, but here is the render. So yeah. Yeah, I know that we're done like 2 years ago. This is another exercise. Again, usually I don't like having exercises on my portfolio because they're not finished. It's a cool one. And as you mentioned on your message, yes, I understand that you're just learning about characters or you're just starting about characters. But this is really cool, man. Really freaking cool. Nice job. Very Mad Max stuff. Now, one question. Did you model this or it was just texturing? It kind of seems like from this it's just texturing, right? Okay. So if it's just texturing, what I would try to do here is show a little bit more about the texturing process. For instance, all of these renders look very cool, and I like the texturing approach that you follow. It does look like it could fit in a game or in a film. Try to take a render where the textures were not started, and then when you were halfway across the texturing process, and then the final level of texturing. That way you can show how you're moving forward through the texturing process. We need more stuff. Man. Like I can see that you have the idea of how things work, bakes, UVs, projections, but we need to pick a project that's a way to do it. Here's how I like to do it, and you can use this technique with some of your friends maybe, or another one of your mentors. Or if you want to get a mentorship with me, we can talk about that. But the way I tell my students to pick a project is go online, go for 10 concept pieces, right? Like concept art, let's say art, surface, props. You're gonna find a lot of things. So look for concept arts that you find interesting. Make sure that it's not 3D. Make sure that it's not something that's very common or that's something that people have done like very frequently. download 10 of these concept arts, and then have someone pick the 3 that they like the most. Of course, only pick 10 projects that you really like, and then have them pick the 3 that they like the most, because they're going to help you to sort of like filter out all of this information. And once they pick those 3, you pick the final one. From those 3 that they picked, you pick the one that you like the most from those final 3, and that's going to be your project. Make sure, and we have the video there on the YouTube in case you want to check it out, the how to pick a project. Make sure it's a project that's going to challenge you, but it's not too challenging. It will allow you to get a nice portfolio piece, but it's not something that's very simple. It's a balance. It's a balance between a lot of different things. So yeah, No Soy Lotus, it's a good portfolio. And again, I know that you have the technical skills, but now we need to do a big project or a couple of big projects that are just your own. Okay, here, let me show you. I'm gonna give a special shout out to one of my mentees today. Her name is Julie. She's also Mexican, and we were working on this project as part of our mentorship together. So she also graduated recently, and she was working on improving her portfolio. You can see, I'm not sure if she took some, yeah. So you can see some of the stuff that she had before. Very simple, very minimalistic. Again, clean models, clean scenes, but I told her that the main issue right now is that a lot of the stuff that she had on her portfolio were, again, relatively simple, right? Like something that any 3D student should be able to do. And we need to start working on things that are a little bit more complex. So she picked this project right here, which was a game asset by Christophe Massiars, the concept, and she went through all of the process of this is the kind of level that a student coming out of college should have, like be able to take a concept, use all of the information from within the concept, and just like transfer that information into a 3D model that's well prepared, well optimized. I think this one, I don't remember how many UDEMs we use, or like texture sets. I think it was like 2 or 3, but it has a good texel density, good amount of detail, just like in general, good roughness breakout, good albedo information. Like I was just very happy for Juliana here, for Julie, because she did a great job. So yeah, there we go.